Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. So I prepared this little pitch. Welcome to the Shikala Report, where I opine on a couple of news stories for the day. Looks like my frame is a little much zoomed in. Give me a second. Boom. I zoomed out a little too much, but you do get to see my Passover. Whoops. My Passover breakfast here. Delicious wife makes me delicious breakfast. And yeah, so wouldn't have bread. I love lox guacamole. Can never go wrong with that. Cool. I wanted to first of all, missed you guys. I hope you enjoyed Friday's episode. I should have sent out an email that it was on the video tab. I apologize for that. I thought I said that in the stream itself. So, anyways, it's still on my channel. You could go ahead and watch it on the video section. Guys, I see Sean is asking if anybody has chopped the video. Do let me know. And yeah, also, so there are a couple of things that I want to mention about that episode. First off, I want to ask you if there was any constructive criticism you can give me in my interviewing skills or interviewing prowess when that episode aired. Number two, what do you thought of the content? What do you think of the guest? Because guests reach out to me a lot. Of course, they're not, to the prestige of a Scott Galloway or something like that. But we'll get there. We'll get there. What I'm getting at is, what kind of guests should I go for? For example, I have a guest now. He just wrote a book about government philosophy and representation against the party system that we have here. He thinks that we should go back to the wishes of George Washington and not have any political parties because it disenfranchises too many and democracy's gone. So I don't know. And again, I don't really know how these guests are as guests, if they're engaging, if they're knowledgeable. So yeah, please do. Please post any constructive criticism you may have, and as far as my interviewing skills, because it's such a fun. I never appreciated the content I listen to, and all of you guys know I'm a loyal Smerconish listener. I didn't appreciate the skills he gains when he interviews somebody, not letting them filibuster and take off all the time off the clock, and I sort of have to develop that muscle and put in those reps. So that's behind the scenes there. So I'm happy. I'm so far from what I'm seeing. You guys have enjoyed it. Okay. One more housekeeping update. So Wednesday will be pre-recorded, as will Friday. So Friday is technically the holiday's over, but I am traveling that morning. I'll be in Nashville, Tennessee, or traveling to Nashville, Tennessee. Wednesday, special episode. I'm going to make it a little more about me and how I keep myself informed. And on Friday, I will do the headlines. I will do the headlines, but I'm going to record it late at night. Try to make it as close as possible to the initiation of the live stream. And again, both of these will be found in the video tab as premieres at 8 a.m. Eastern, so you can see that there. I will be with you. I will be with you though, in the chat. So I expect to see everybody there. Guys, I really appreciate you. So we'll do that. Okay. Let's have at it, right? Unlike unlike most days, I want to start off with the Smerconish poll question for today, which asks, I don't want to misquote it, something to the effect of, here it is. I'm not even going to say that. Should the U.S. target Iran's power generating facilities and bridges if they help support its war machine? The U.S. It depends. I mean, my vote is a yes. Okay, my vote is a yes. Is it smart to? Again, only given I'm thinking, because for those of you who are uninformed, Trump promised to start strikes on these facilities by tomorrow if Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz. Should they? I don't think so. Ugh. You can see the tension here. So I think okay. Let me revise my answer. I think not. They should not. They should not. But they should bring the regime down to its knees. I guess almost by definition, the power generating facilities and bridges help support the Iranian war machine. Any war machine needs power and needs transportation. But should he? No, because the only thing he has going on his side, I guess, are the Iranian people in Iran. Once he does that, he loses the people. I get that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, and let's see what happens in the next couple of days as far as that goes. Okay, I saw a headline and I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. So I had a subscription, an annual subscription to The Economist, and it just lapsed. It just lapsed, and I'm highly considering renewing it. I do like their reporting, but I just consume so much news, and I have a job, so I have to be very selective in what I read. Here we are. Okay, let me share my screen here. Window capture. Boom. Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay, so look at that. New attitude shift as APAC is shifting its tactics. Long story short, the left has turned APAC into a dirty word, as they have for Zionists and as they probably have for guns. The word gun is already triggering to a lot. Of course, I support APAC. I like the work that they do. I don't like where they're trending. I think that the America-Israel alliance is very American, and it's in America's best interest. But I want to ask a broader question, and it sort of leads into the representation of this country and the governance of this country. So, what I want to get to, let me go back into full screen. I don't want to draw too much attention away from me. Okay, great. So the point I'm making is to go back to the Mitt Romney point. Are corporations people? The NRA, the NAACP, the APAC, all support people. They all support people. If they support foreigners, different story. Not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these organizations, these political interest groups that have their support grounded in voters, citizenry. While the dollars may be skewed more towards the upper classes, they still represent the will of those upper classes. And Ham, I owe you one on this one, but I forget. There is a philosopher that says if you don't give the rich an avenue to express themselves, they'll be the ones dominating a government one way or another. So if you want a government that fosters freedom of thought and some level of egalitarianism, you should have an avenue for them to express themselves. That doesn't mean that they should buy the government. But if there's a will of a majority of a district, majority of a country, or even a plurality of a certain section of people, that will should be heard. So again, when it comes to APAC, the NRA, NAACP, I said the NRA, you know what I mean? They represent will. So bringing it back to this article that I'm thinking about by The Economist, as attitudes on Israel shift, AIPAC is shifting tactics. And the article, I'm not sure if it's this one or another one about AIPAC in particular, The Economist goes into, with AIPAC funneling so much money into politics, this may increase the prevalence of anti-Semitic tropes of Jews run everything, Jews run the government, Jews run so on and so on. So I'm not so much thinking about this from a AIPAC. Yeah, I like what they do. I'm ardently supportive of the America-Israel partnership. Sure. I'm thinking more about this in the realm of a broader point that I've been seeing throughout my adulting life, really. I was in about 11th grade or so when it was the Romney Obama campaign. But the point that I'm thinking of is the will should be heard, and the interest groups or the collectives that hold this interest, whatever big group it is, in the end, they represent the voters. So that's and again, I'm not talking about the cases where there's foreign money coming in or anything like that. I'm talking about specifically the voters. That's my take on that particular headline. And I saw it and I was about to. So funny enough, I'll mention it on Wednesday stream because I'm gonna make Wednesday stream specifically on how I keep informed and what I read. And I just mentioned that my Economist subscription lapsed. American Express just has a crazy offer. I'm going to mention it on Wednesday. So there's a little teaser for then. Righty. Trump is saying he may strike every power plant. Of course he might. Oh, NBC News is reporting live updates. Iran war for 45 days. Iran war ceasefire for 45 days is being discussed, official says, ahead of the Trump's Hormuz deadline. Pakistan offers a 2-stage truce plan. And gold is falling as Trump threatens escalation of U.S. attacks on Iran. So an interesting point I saw on CNN yesterday. Jake Tapper was asking his panel, would it be okay for military personnel to disobey the order to fire on these power plants, or these power plants and bridges? Because according to whatever international law is out there, be it the Geneva Convention or any kind of UN legislation, it would be illegal to specifically target civilian based targets like that. But if it's used for the purpose of war, that becomes a permissible target. We had a whole debacle on a bunch of Democrat vets saying you should or you can disobey illegal orders. Would that qualify as one of them? And I guess the way to wiggle out of it is exactly per Smerconish's question. If they're being used for the Iranian war machine, it could be a legal target. So let's see that. Okay. But the fact that people are bringing up the legality repeatedly about Trump's striking claims is a different story. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but I would not see it as far-fetched as the Republicans lose the House on the midterms and the Republicans end up impeaching him for an illegal war or something like that. Ridiculous, and I don't want it to happen. And I know from the comments a lot of you don't either, but that's I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Okay. Oil is dropping amid reports of Iran ceasefire talks. The S&P is showing up a little bit. Dow Jones showing down just a little bit, and Bitcoin is rising. Wow, that thing is so volatile, guys. I should do a session on that. Oh, and I didn't even cover. I didn't think I was live with you guys since the firing of Pam Bondi. I guess everyone knew she was going to get fired, just a matter of when. I just don't know what the point of. I guess how much harder does Trump want her to go after his enemies? I read an op in the op-ed. I don't know, but if it was an op-ed or actual news coverage. No, it was news coverage because it started out on the cover page over the weekend, where Bondi reported to those around her that Trump wants her to go harder against his enemies, but she can't. I mean, that was very refreshing for me to read, because it shows that there are some guardrails that are still in place. For God's sake, he's breaking every norm out there. But thank you for a system that held some standard, some restraint on what the executive could do. So that was refreshing for me to read. But hey, I don't know if Blanche is any better. What just rushes to the front of my mind is his meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell and the arrangement that was done in terms of moving her to a lower security facility with more, I guess, luxuries. And I apologize for those celebrating. Happy belated Easter, or happy Easter Monday. And let's see what else we got. Let's see. Al Jazeera is reporting on this two-step piece that Pakistan is offering. I want to see what these two steps are. All elements need to be agreed to today. And the deal is tentatively bud the Islamabad Accord. Let me have you guys read this alongside me. There you go. Okay, so check this out. Let me get this off your screen. It's a two-phase deal. Could lead to the permanent end to the war. Pakistan hates Israel, so I'm wondering how they're gonna, deal with the press about that. All elements need to be agreed to today. Interesting, because Trump said he wants to keep on striking for weeks, not today. Not stop today. Under the proposal, reopening Strait of Hormuz with 15 to 20 days given to finalize a broader settlement. So the strait would be open immediately. And then in 15, 20 days, finalize a broader settlement. Commitments not to pursue nukes. Yeah, right. Exchange for sanctions relief. I don't think that's happening. Okay. So there you have it, right? There's the plan that Al Jazeera is reporting Pakistan is trying to put into place. Okay. So I'm going to go into some comments now. And we'll go from there. So to remember, everybody, I do read every single one of these. So welcome for those who are here for the first time. I did see a few new names and viewership go up just a little bit over the past week. So thank you for that. Please subscribe to the newsletter below. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we'll have a cool relationship between everybody here. Just remember to be nice in the chat. Still Easter holiday here. Overcast, desert sunset. Happy Easter. Okay. Victor, you appreciate my work and energy to this project. Thank you. I like the whole pre-recorded idea. I just think it's such a great medium, meet you in the middle kind of thing, like where I can't be live, but I want to be with you anyways, and I don't want to forego the element of community here. So, okay. Desert Sunset, he's fighting cancer too. Why stress his body and mind more? Ooh, I don't know who that is. Antique X-Ray, Victor Perkins, Smerconish had the advantage of having a radio show. Well, yeah, let's just say he put in a lot more reps than I have. He has a lot more experience, and listen, it's something that I can at least learn from by listening so much. And good mornings. I'm seeing good mornings. Let me scroll down to see when I'm talking politics here. Ahem 3. One day I'll have a real computer so I can communicate with everybody personally. That's always an option here. You should be able to communicate pretty cool on the phone though. That's usually how I engage with you guys whenever I'm in the chat and we're premiering. Okay, thank you for the positive feedback about the guest. Again, I'll go into detail a little later. Okay. Sean Nichols, when I was at Graceland, it didn't seem too different. Many homes where I grew up, big sort of, but it didn't seem like a mansion to me. A lot was added after Elvis. I'm going to Tennessee. Okay, Ham White, yes, you're aware of the specific quote where I said the rich have to have some sort of avenue to express themselves or else they'll just take over government. I've heard the argument generally. I oppose Citizens United and the concept that corporations should have a voice. I want money out of politics. So would you make a distinction between corporations in politics versus political interest groups? The NRA, the NAACP, the APAC, and so on. I see a Hem 3, not necessarily, Charles. I need to know what that's in reference to. Sorry that it's out of context a little bit. Kate Cupcakes Kelly agreeing with Shawn Nichols that it was gobsmacked, and many true Elvis fans were overwhelmed with emotion. They cried loudly. True fans. Let's see what happens. Shawn Nichols, my adult life has been, how long has it been? 3 or 4 days? No. My I like to think of the Obama Romney run as sort of a it was my first election where I knew a lot of the subject matter. You know, I was in I think it was the year before I took AP political science. But like I told you guys 100 times, I was always so into it. I knew what Obamacare was in the '08 run. I was in 7th grade. I thought then that McCain was, I didn't think he was too old to win. And I remember thinking as a 7th grader, I would have voted for him. And I believe he lost because a lot of people thought he was too old. And I thought to myself, wow, if he's too old, this is going to set up a very young bar for the future candidates who want to be elected. and then, yeah, let's just say subsequent elections happened, and age was the dominating factor. Ham, if you believe that it should be heard, then express it the same as any other individual does. But renew your subscription. The Economist is a great source on reporting. Ham, I expect to see you on Wednesday to see what I'm thinking now as far as The Economist. I love the publication. I do. I really like what they have to say. A little bit of a left leaning stance. Nothing wrong with that. And as long as I am aware of it, I don't care. That's great. Suan splurged on a 3-year subscription. I think 2 of them. Wow, your COVID indulgence to The Economist. Yeah, we've spoken how we like Zanny Binton Meadows, the editor-in-chief or editor, I don't know, whichever it is, of The Economist. Very knowledgeable lady. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Suan, corporations give so much money to political concerns, it's rather appalling. Suan, corporations do have interests, and there are people and voters behind those corporations. That's the truth of the matter. That's where I fall out. Now, do I think, again, I'm in this position of, do corporations get to have an outsized say by buying politicians? No. M3, this is Michelle Charles. Happy Passover. I know Michelle, but like I said, I like to call out people by their handles because I don't know if they want to be called out. Falcon Steph, phone works great for you. Yep, it works great when I'm on the chat as well. Ham, definitely want political interest groups, but political groups money out of politics. I'm totally okay with, let's say, only individuals contributing to politics. But then again, you go into the same question of whatever the Supreme Court's already dealt with. Do you cap the individual contribution, or is that a limit on their free speech? I happen to think the latter, but the former is a great idea. Yeah. Falcon Steph, John McCain, yeah. Shawn Nichols. Oh, you were never a McCain guy in 08? I mean, I had respect for that guy. He was such a moderate. I know. Listen, I knew back then that Obama was some sort of revolutionary. Like he wanted more of change, and I think that was his line back then. And this is me coming off of whatever little child me knew of the Iraq War and 9/11 stuff like that. I thought McCain was just, yeah, it was somewhat of a continuation of Bush. I think I remember one of the first headlines I brought up to my dad and wanted to intellectually engage with him with was that, hey, Dad, Obama's extending the Bush tax cuts. I don't even know what the Bush tax cuts cut, but I remember I wanted to seem somewhat of intellectual with my dad. So I remember I brought that up. guys, I just looked at the time, and this man's got to go to work. Thank you, everybody. Please hit the subscribe button below. Thumbs up, please. And I will see you Wednesday in the chat, everybody. Keep mingling. Live today like today's your last. And